Hey everyone, today I've got my The Invisible Man movie review. This reimagining of a classic horror movie that you have to see to believe. That is, if you can see the man who may be invisible. So as far as the story goes, Lee Whannell directs a movie about a woman who was in this abusive relationship until her man supposedly killed himself. And now she thinks he's not dead and still haunts her. Now, first off, I have to say how skeptical I was going into seeing this movie. And now, I've been really worried about how horror movies have been remade recently, and they have all basically come out duds. So I definitely had my reservations about seeing this movie, despite all of the trailers that I had seen, and I was sold immediately after the opening scene came on. While this movie felt like more of a psychological thriller than a horror movie, I still think it managed to take me into that mindset of, what escaping this traumatic abusive relationship looks like, and it was done in such a way that really made you terrified with every action that was being taken by the main character. And the direction was so precise that it made it even better for me to focus on everything that was going on screen. I mean, I was actually legitimately terrified by this movie, and that made me really happy because I, of course, was worried about how this movie was going to turn out, since I had seen, obviously, the original Invisible Man movie, and then thinking, okay, how are they going to recreate this for modern audiences and still make it work? And it definitely did. As far as the casting goes, you've got Elizabeth Moss, who I think does a really fantastic job in this movie, and it's no surprise that she can pull off being in this horror movie type of role, because she's been in Jordan Peele's Us just last year, and I really liked her character in that movie and what she was able to pull off. But then here, I mean, you really see her take it to a whole new level of just being this terrified woman, but she's on her feet constantly. She's trying to fend off this invisible man, and I mean, she just looked like excellent in every scene that she was in. I mean, at times you definitely want to feel bad for her character, but also root for her at the same time. So I definitely think she did a good job there. And speaking of the Invisible Man, Oliver Jackson Cohen plays the Invisible Man that, I feel like he, of course, pulled it off really well. I had seen him previously in the Netflix series Haunting of Hill House, and I thought he was excellent in that. You guys should definitely check it out. And of course, I couldn't get enough of his character here because he was just so darn terrifying to watch. I mean, he was so creepy. It's like I would not want anybody breathing down my neck or feeling like somebody's creeping in the corner of my room. I mean, it was just so intense to watch his scenes. The things that I liked about this movie was that it literally had me on the edge of my seat with the use of this built-up tension. And anytime you thought that the Invisible Man was creeping around a corner stalking Elizabeth Moss, I mean, I literally felt my heart race. I couldn't almost take it at times because I just wanted to run and hide with Elizabeth Moss because of how scary this movie was. It definitely had a lot of those horror aspects that, I was really glad to see, because it doesn't have your typical jump scares that aren't just they're popping out every 5 seconds, but man, it really builds it up so that you're seeing it when it happens, and it's still very satisfying, especially with the use of the musical score that I feel like periodically played, but at times when it didn't, it was equally effective in those scenes throughout the movie. But unfortunately, the things that I didn't really like about this movie was that while it didn't seem like much was happening up until the third act comes along, I mean, the ending did have me doing a double take because it seemed like not much made sense with, how it ended, and the outcome just felt like, they didn't really know how to achieve an ending that would work, because I feel like it just came out with this poor execution. It just didn't, seem to make sense to me. Like, everything else worked fine up until this part, but I feel like it didn't completely deter me from how I felt about the rest of the movie up until the ending. So overall, I would say that this movie was still a pretty excellent watch, and I'm definitely satisfied with seeing it. So I definitely am glad that I saw it, and I'm glad that my thoughts had definitely changed since I felt about the movie originally until I saw this. So I would highly recommend seeing this movie if you guys haven't. Did you guys see the original Invisible Man? What did you think of it? And what did you think of this one? And I would give this 4.5 hearts on the heart rate scale. So let me know in the comments what you guys thought of The Invisible Man. And as always, you guys can subscribe to my channel. I've got more movie reviews, movie updates. Come back every week for a Chill Thursday video. You guys can also like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter. And I'll see you guys later.